Now this is your opportunity to ask your questions. I hope you've been taking notes and figured out those things that were mysterious to you. This is an unusual opportunity to really put your questions to the world's experts on these issues. While you're thinking about that, I want to highlight a couple of things. First of all, a little housekeeping. We are actually recording the symposium. For your friends who aren't here today and might want to see this, it'll be available at bcrfcure.org online, so you can watch it. The second thing is, going back to what you've just heard, many times you'll hear in the news on a given day that there's a breakthrough. But I think what's often lost is what has gone before the news story. And you've heard just from these four panelists a really nice coverage of the range from basic scientists working in the laboratory, toiling for years, to fledgling experiments in humans with brave volunteers, to randomized clinical trials that actually put something new to the test. We don't just assert that something is better when we make a recommendation for treatment, especially in cancer. We rely on evidence, and this is how it's generated. And you've heard that in addition to all that, it always takes a very broad team. There's a phrase we use now called team science, which represents the fact that it really isn't a single eccentric person working late at night with lightning flashing around the tower. But in fact, it's a team of people trying and failing and trying and failing and trying and succeeding and doing it over and over and over again in a very iterative process that actually leads to the standards of care and the practices that become ubiquitous. And it's tremendously exciting for me, and I suspect for many of you, to hear this and to see it played out in reality, but that's what you've just heard. And we could talk about almost any one of the specific targets or pathways that were addressed here, but I do want to make sure that we have time for your questions. So if you have them, please raise your hands and we will get the microphones to you, both left and right. While we're getting started, there were questions actually sent to us even in advance by some of our supporters.